Hi, my name is Huda and I am the founder and CEO of Quick Click Security. I just wanted to take a moment to introduce our Talk About It Tuesdays, which we're going to be starting from today, where we're going to be having short discussions with people in our industry from different sectors, different levels, to talk about in general what their role on a day-to-day basis entails, what they do, how they got there, to sort of continue with the theme and our overall vision of Quick Click, that it will help and we want it to be part of the solution of empowering people in terms of career choices and helping people to see how they get to the next step in their career, what courses are available, and to help people to understand that actually there are careers in this industry. It's not just, it doesn't have to just be a job. So we'll be talking to people about what they did do on a day to day. Obviously, everything has been impacted by COVID-19. And so we'll be talking about and getting them to open up about how this has impacted their role, how they're managing, how they're staying in contact with their business, with their clients, with their team, and talking about opening up discussions on the bigger picture impacts on the industry as a whole, and also what opportunities there are. I mean, I think it's really important in times like this to obviously acknowledge what is going on, but to also look ahead. There are, the saying, every cloud has a silver lining, didn't come from nowhere. And I really hope that these videos will create conversations, engagement, keep people connected, and help to maintain some form of positivity. Today we have our very first discussion with Lee. So Lee, over to you if you want to just sort of introduce yourself and give people an idea of sort of where you've come from, how you got into the security industry, and what you do, I think, on a day-to-day, firstly, normally, in normal circumstances, what your job role entails.
Okay, hi. So everyone, I'm Lee Vincent. I spent most of my adult career sort of in the military, done 12 years, and I've been out just over a year now and transitioned across into the private security industry. I've been in my current role about 9 months now as a security manager, sort of a site security manager based up in London. So that's where I am sort of as it stands. Well, not at the minute because I'm working from home due to COVID-19.
That is everybody. And how was, I suppose, firstly, how was that transition for you from the military into private security? How did you find that, and how did you get into this role? Like, how did you actually get into it?
So firstly, it was the transition for me personally. It's been quite successful. It's gone quite well, and you hear different stories and stuff.
Yeah.
It goes well. Other people struggle a little bit when they do so long in the military. I decided to come into the private security industry from leaving the military purely because we have a lot of transferable skills, and I was thinking, what transferable skills do I have where I can sort of move into an industry that does, similar to a lot of the things that I've done in the military. So I went for the private security route. But the key for me throughout my transition actually to get into where I am now with a security manager's position is, firstly, networking was absolutely vital.
Yeah. And I think enough people don't understand how important that is. So good on you for figuring it out early doors.
Yeah, for me, that's probably the most fundamental, the key point for anyone. I say if they're transitioning, whatever industry they want to go into, find the key people, join some organisations, get out there, meet people, have phone calls, all that sort of stuff. And also take the advice. So like I said before, I got involved with ASIS, I got involved with a security institute and got some really good advice off people in the industry. And it's also following that advice as well with further development, CPD courses, and extra things that you can do to sort of make yourself stand out from the crowd a little bit. So
I mean,
it's for me.
Yeah, and it's so good to hear somebody who has done that and it's worked out, because it's the thing I say to people all the time. I feel like networking in any industry is key, and I feel like sometimes as an industry, we aren't as on top of sort of going to events. And I know a lot of sort of, especially sort of frontline, we spoke about this, a lot of frontline like license holders often don't feel like they're appropriate, that the events, these sort of networking socials are appropriate for them, that for some reason they're not the right type of security. So I mean, yeah, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm glad there was a sort of success story through the networking. So you mentioned that you are now working from home. Are you on day 2, I think?
Day 2 now, working from home. Yeah. So
how's it been so far? How was day 1? And obviously we had the news last night. So today, I imagine things have changed slightly, probably on your site. How's things going?
Yeah, it's been, firstly, working from home is very different. It's the first time ever I've ever done anything like this. So it's definitely a different way of operating and way of working.
Well, you look like you've had a shower, so well done.
Yeah, I've had a shower, tried to keep routines and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's been challenging. Yeah, I'm quite a sort of hands-on sort of person anyway. So I like, bit of a doer and like to be around and amongst the team and be there to support and help out where possible.
Yeah.
Obviously with the news last night, things have ramped up again with the changes on a near daily basis at the minute. So we're just trying to keep on top of things and keep the team informed and everyone in the know, and sort of keep moving forward as best we can with the information we've got, whilst trying to be responsible with obviously the spread of COVID-19.
Yeah. And how big was the team on site sort of a month ago?
A month ago, so our team, we would have 5 staff on days, and 3 on nights at the minute. It could potentially grow as the building gets filled with tenants and stuff like that.
And now you're right down to sort of skeleton staff following.
Yeah, so we've reduced down to 3 on days and 2 on nights at the minute. And there is scope for that to reduce again, depending on what decisions get made with the works and stuff we've got going on site. So, it's been challenging.
No, it's just, I mean, it's awful for so many industries, but the security industry, especially sort of frontline, I think, the impact right now is huge. Have you got any idea, the staff that aren't working now, do they fall under this? They'll be able to claim their sort of 80% wages from the government. Are they looking for the work? How is it impacting the individuals? Have you got any idea?
Yeah, we've been quite lucky. We've had a lot of support from our clients and our company as well. So I think we've been quite reassured that things are going to be okay with our staff, even with the reduced manning. So it's a very positive thing with the support that we've all received, and a lot of communication as well is key, because there's so much uncertainty. It's just keeping people in the know of what's going on and as up to date as possible.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's one of the most important things I think that's going to come out of this, and hopefully one of the positive things that will follow through as we sort of hopefully get to the end of this eventually, is that to be kinder to people and more considerate. And I've already seen it with businesses. I know there was a huge amount of pressure before the announcement that the government could help with salaries, but hopefully now that a bit of pressure has eased off, that businesses they're able to retain their staff. I just think it's one of the positive things, that hopefully our mentalities will shift from sort of chase business to a bit more about our people and what really matters. And sort of, I suppose, your role, very hands-on. It's the first time you've worked from home. How are you sort of staying in touch? Is it just phone calls, emails? How are you making sure that your team are can access you and you're accessible? Is it difficult?
It's been okay. Lots of phone calls and emails, like you said. They're our main sort of modes of communication. And I'm sort of regularly checking in on the team on site to make sure they're okay, and sort of made it quite clear that my phone's always on. So if they have any issues or anything, they can contact me anytime, and we'll do our best to work through the situation. It's good to try and show that support. I'm working from home, but I do have guys and girls actually on site, so you need to make sure that they, I don't want to be distant myself or be seen to do that in any shape or form. They need to know that if they need me for anything, I'm here, and I'm always on the end of the phone to support and guide if needed.
No, absolutely. And sort of in terms of like bigger impacts, large impacts on the industry in general, have you had any thoughts as to, even positive impacts that might sort of come out of this? Whether at the moment, whether we can think about adapting ourselves, or whether there's ways that, we can, as an industry or individuals, can sort of, gain something from this, or whether it's sort of more long term.
Yeah, so I think longer term for the wider security risk management industry, I think there could be some positive outcomes for this, because people are going to take security, and particularly risk management, business continuity, resilience, all these sort of topics that sort of come under our bubble. I think people are going to take it a little bit more seriously now after this COVID-19. So I think that's definitely going to be a positive for the industry moving forward once this is done. And also I think with some changes that might happen, like we mentioned before, I think there's going to be an increased emphasis on technology whilst we're having to reduce staffing levels, but we still have the technology there, CCTV, the access control and remoting in and stuff like that. So I think there could be an increase in that side of the technological side of the industry. But that's not to say I think it'll ever replace people.
No.
We'll still need staff and security officers on site.
It's just an additional area now, isn't it? People will be, I think the tech has been there, and I think it took something like this for us to really look at how we can utilize it, which is often the case. People don't like change, and people like to do change as slowly as possible. So now that we've been thrown into the deep end, I mean, likely a lot more tech solutions will pop up, I imagine.
I think it's we need a bit, the upskilling of the staff to make sure that we've got people that can operate the technology effectively, and they're trained and upskilled, as tech's probably going to increase with the security industry.
So one thing, so there's a tip from Lee. If you've got a bit of time on your hands and you're wondering what you could be doing, maybe do some I don't know, online courses or research, or look at sort of what tech is available in the industry. Maybe there's some innovators out there that they didn't even know. But I mean, it is a crazy situation. It's just, I think obviously it's just unprecedented, and I think the strangest thing for me personally is we just don't know what's coming next or how long it's going to last.
That's it.
What are you doing, sort of incorporating into your, I mean, I know we're on day 2, but your daily routines? How are you sort of making sure that you are getting up and staying positive and motivated, and not sticking your head in the fridge every 5 minutes?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you said there, really, is trying to keep the routines. I try and keep a routine as if I was going to work. Like I say, get up, have a shower. Obviously, I haven't got the commute now, which is probably a positive thing. Sort of keep a little bit active sort of after work. So I know most people are isolating now, and there's limited to how much we can go out and do stuff. So try and stay a little bit active, keep the routines, and keep in touch with people as well. My other half's working from home as well, but also I have phone calls with the team and stuff. So although we are locked away, a little bit locked away in our houses and places where we live, try and maintain that sort of contact with people to keep you sane. That's not just work, away from work as well.
No, I think that is key. I think if anything, and I've started doing it with my family, we did the odd video call here and there. We've started video calling every day, and again, potentially another positive that people, friends, family might hopefully will come out a little bit closer, perhaps, out there.
I think it's definitely going to bring people together across the board. As a society, I think we'll be stronger and closer together once, as a nation, we get through this.
I agree. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, your thoughts, and for being our number 1 guest when I don't have a clue what I'm doing and couldn't guide you in the slightest. So fantastic job.
I hope it comes across all right.
Thanks, Lee.